And we are in line 9. He rebuked the Red Sea also, and it dried up. So he led them through the depths as through the wilderness. So let's elaborate on that. So he rebuked the Red Sea also, and it dried up. And that sends us to Exodus 14:21. That says, and Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea into dry land, and the waters were divided. And so clearly, God did that so they could walk on what? On that dry land. Now, it says, so he rebuked the Red Sea also, and it dried up. So when God rebukes, God corrects, he's telling it what? Exactly what he wants it to do. So he rebuked it, and it dried up by the east wind, and the waters divided. 9b. So he led them through the depths as through the wilderness. So the same way that God led them through the wilderness, he led them through the depth of that sea, and they walked on dry land. That's a miracle from God. And if God didn't do anything else for them after that, that going part in that water was enough. Was enough. But it wasn't enough for them. It wasn't enough for the Israelites. So he led them through the depths as through the wilderness. And so that sends us to Isaiah 63, 11 through 13. That says, then he remembered the days of old, Moses and his people, saying, where is he who brought them up out of the sea? With the shepherd of his flock, where is he who put his Holy Spirit within them? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Who led them by the right hand of Moses, with his glorious arm, dividing the water before them, to make for himself an everlasting name, who led them through the deep as a horse in the wilderness, that they might not stumble. Clearly, God did all of that. He did all of that. And so that sends us to 63, 11, 13. And then so Isaiah 63, 11 is going to send us back to Psalm 106, 44, and 45 when we get there. But we have already read it. But I just to show you about, how this is just being corroborated. This entire psalm is being corroborated, all over. New Testament, Old Testament. And so let's look at line 10. So he saved them from the hand of him who hated them. Who hated them? Pharaoh hated them. He wanted to kill them. He wanted to continue to work and work them like some slaves. So it says he saved them from the hand of him who hated them. And so that sends us to Exodus 14:30. That says, so the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the seashore. And I'm going to read 31. Thus Israel saw the great work which the Lord had done in Egypt, so the people feared the Lord and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. But that didn't last for too long. All right, and then so going back to Psalm 106, so he saved them from the hand of him who hated them and redeemed them from the hand of the enemy. 11, the waters covered their enemies. There was not one of them left. And clearly it wasn't, because, as they tried to pursue the Israelites on dry ground like the Israelites had walked. And then so God waited until all the Israelites got on the other side. And then he closed the waters back over them. So the waters covered their enemies. There was not one of them left. 12, then they believed his words and they sang his praise. And so in 12, we're going to come back and read 12. because we're going to read Exodus 15, 1 through 21. It's 21 lines. And so clearly I'm going to go over. And I've read it before during the Psalm series, but I'll reread it again for contextual sake. And then so meet me back in Psalm 106. We'll reread 12, and then we'll go on to Exodus 15.